Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
These roots run deep. Only by digging would you see the gold hidden in our beings. Dirty nails and dandies for crowns, it's our light that glows, even when chained, enslaved, and left silently chasing the dreams our ancestors built from the ground. What of my robes makes you shake in your boots? What of my voice makes you fear the truth? Have you no depth to yourself that you must disapprove of who I am? Why must I speak like you? Use words that you've sanctioned to show my intelligence as proof of worthiness for all that is inherently ours. Constantly breaking chains forged out of hate, we rise and rise and rise. And now that we fly, you want to ground us, diminish the heights we have reached in an attempt to negate our royalty as if the world would forget the true value of our skin. These beautiful black and brown kings and queens deserve the blessings they were born to receive, not pain and confusion from our community. Is it not our lips that inspired trends and the standards of beauty? Not our hips that is imitated, our style replicated, taken, changed, renamed repeatedly again, and our acknowledgments not given, our rights rescinded, limited to the narrow path that we've been gifted? I digress. Royals do not bow under the weight of their crown, and our crowns do not move. These roots run deep, and only by digging would you then see the proof. It's crazy how I never noticed how many people shared the same name as you before we met. I hate the way my body seizes and my heart pounds till it pops the stitches that I placed when I see the C at the start of a name. My greatest love and deepest betrayal. Time for me has stopped, and new attempts at love have failed, and I cry, because I will probably never know love again. You're not forgiven. For 3 times I gave too much of I and let you spread my skin on the bed for you to roll around in with your new bitch-like sheets. I write about you still because I'm angry, because I'm disappointed. And when I see your name, it floods back like a wound that never closes. How could I ever love another man when my body aches like this? It's as if I'm sick with disease and only your smile, your laugh, the twinkle in your eyes and the frown when you're mad. Only you could ease this sickness. But you're the facilitator of this illness. You're the reason I second guess my judgment and retrace my steps. Why I pinch the skin around my waist and frown in the mirror when I pass, because standing there staring would take all day comparing my body to theirs. I'm so quick to leave because no one's allowed to hurt me like you did. I hesitate when they want to get deep because they might use it against me like you did. I shatter in silence and am rebuilt by attention, but I question my self-worth daily because you didn't claim me. So I hide my hope and never fall for maybes. And I'm okay until I see your name. I hope when you come back that you're reincarnated as a sea turtle. I hope with your first breath that you understand what terror is. May you fight for your right to live. From the moment that you hatch from your egg, may the sands that cover your nest shift and move as you attempt to escape. I pray the seagulls and other wildlife wait. I hope they wait for you to scramble closer to the ocean's shoreline, closer to safety, only to rip you out of the sand and into the air so that you feel the crushing weight of despair. And as you're lifted higher and higher and carried off into the distance, you'll never know the promise of life, perfectly extended, the feeling of a belly full of krill or fish. I hope you'll dream of the life that could have been as your natural predator plans your death.
We are a country where your skin is your only truth. Your actions are irrelevant, and your words are even cheaper than the documents the government issued. The ugly deal behind the publicity of the gaslight they shine as real is that skin is the only criteria for citizen. If it doesn't look Caucasian, you're just a target for hazing. Tired, hungry, and poor ain't welcome on these shores. Can't say anymore because the truth is it never was before. It doesn't matter what the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or the courts told. We just throw them out in the cold to die in the ice outdoors. America playing the dating game with MAGA as the fans. The president hosting the show like Richard Dawson in The Running Man. What's next? The Terminator? He'll be back with another case of spray tan for the man with the master race plan, whitewashing picket fences with the powdered orange of beatdown and abuse, one melanated skin at a time. And the progress we made, gone. It would take 100 celebrities to drop dime to change the path of the juggernaut to make it a world where trauma receives amends. Cheeto Man, borrowing from Hitler's playbook, once hid behind hoods, now government contracted, and spilled blood is always cut by a whiter shade of pale. History is repeating itself again. This is not the execution of what America was meant to be. It's the execution of what we've been pretending was every American's dream. Freedom was what this government claimed, the right under God of every man. But ask anyone who has paid in tears for that dream and learned the hard way that it's dead. The real truth is that freedom means the fat cats get government pork sandwiches on Sunbeam bread. Everybody else got empty pockets and a voucher for a pound of government cheese instead. And if you try to redeem it, that office is closed. It got shut down because cutting citizens' life support was the purpose of Doge. Somebody once told me complaining without an alternate solution is nothing but bitching. So are you going to do something to make our country a better place? Or are you going to sit there feeling helpless with your trigger finger itching? The country is what we make it. If it doesn't fit, you make alterations. So I'm sending you all a needle and thread. We will speak truth with ancestral tongues and restitch the flag from the labor of our hands. A nation reborn, representing everyone's skin, except orange. He lost the game. At least that's what Richard Dawson said.
I want to hold you, catch your sweet breath in my longing, erase the distance between our embrace, and soar in spirit to an intense communion. Cute, glorious queen of majesty supreme, be the dawn of my sunshine's glow, I'll be your tomorrow's rainbow. Stay, tarry a little longer. Together we'll blend in the rays of the sun, soar to the heights of perennial beauty. Come, let us harness the winds, summon a golden crested chariot, ride upon the silvery clouds. O Empress of that love unequaled, who was this noble artist that adorned and bedecked thy form? Such unspoken sweetness, such quintessence of exquisite bewilderment. I want to hold you, catch your sweet breath in my longing, erase the distance between our embrace, and soar in spirit to an intense communion. Past loves were like the pain of penury, and before I met you, the old stings of loneliness and broken dreams were stabbing my heart with impunity. Now that I am bedazzled by your enchantment, my core throbs and trembles with an ecstatic glow. Flowering like a fountain of light, your elegant smile pulls rays from sunshine. Your pink satin silhouette oozes with charisma. Let me bathe in your fragrance, sleep on your lap of affectionate tenderness. How I long to dance like sunflowers, balance delicately on the golden sunbeams of your dreams. Sing me a song of love supreme, a sweetness in my soul. I want to hold you, catch your sweet breath in my longing, erase the distance between our embrace, and soar in spirit to an intense communion.
Able, gabled, fact, then fatal, jeweled and garbed with garbled fabric, magic, static, and something even more fantastic. Fast at it, the habit, the nonsuch of another crutch that came in the clutch to give a stammer to the dust, where only one set of footsteps fall. No one carried me, no one pushed my gurney down the hall, open gown clowned into forgetting, falling down, walk, sleeping, talk, weeping, sound, steeping, housekeeping, mouse seeking feline. imagining mine, the smallest kind that can stare down an elephant, the one in the room, or even those less relevant. The memories of funerals, like stories of each supplicant, a cocktail made of madness and torrent and sugar and mint and the heavy aphrodisiac of a petal's fresh scent. I could tell you every day, headline what I need to say so you won't hear it any other way, blaring news and what you can't blink away, bullhorned into Benjamin's old white moths, eating their way through your wallets. Here comes the hard truth. Don't try and swallow it without some kind of paper chaser dry in the throat like a lying love note, heart severed with a laser. Now there's a minor injury to the aorta major, the juggling jugular like pulse like a bounce, the pressure mimicked in every liquid ounce, the ventricles humming their hiccuped harumph while we blind the best visions for fear of becoming unnumbed.
Mr. Cacophony has a cast iron calliope with keys of the finest polished bone. His smile is a catastrophe crafted in a calamitous factory. He has a jet black hat with a broken buckle, eyebrows made of twisted wire, and eyes that scream insanity. You can see his bare ass through his tuxedo tails as he prances up and down, penetrating the air with his baton. He's come to scrub my ear canals with his bristle brush. 100 jingles jangling in my brain. I can't keep him out because he's already in. Taken up a residency in my skull, he comes marching boldly down the main street of my mind. He sings his song about how much I suck. A full-throated caterwauling, all hours, all days, thumping like a heartbeat out of control. Boom! No shower. Bang! No food. Crash! I get no sleep. Screech! I'm tired. Whiz! I'm hurting. Zip! There goes my hope. He screams at me because the day ends in Y, wants me to hate myself for all the things I always forget. How I just can't get my shit together. My pain, his inspiration, my guilt, his glory. I remember peace, I think, but not today. Not now, not this week. Today, I'm at home for a private audience, strapped to my chair again, forced to listen to his aria of exquisite agony. His foul lyrics are soul pollution in sharps and flats, but the notes are always wrong. A sickening symphony of suffering, major trauma in D minor. When I'm gone and my last broken bell has rung, will he slip into the silence? Will it finally be still?
Hey, Doc. I woke up with morning sickness. It was something I ate last night. What could it be? Making me licensed to ill. How do I soothe my savage beastie boys like me go cuckoo for cocoa dependency? Processed food and we need each other.
Session note 001. Patient JFJ definitely needs therapy, perhaps the musical kind. I sense a ball of confusion. The temptations are coming at him from every direction. How do we prevent a TKO? I think he better let it go. Twinkies, Klondikes, overeating. The spirit of junk food has him vexed.
What a conundrum stick. Everything I love to eat makes me sick. Empty calories, full of artificial ingredients and sugar, leave me stuffed with angst. I need to take a relaxative. Make a movement toward better health while weighing the pros and cons to patient of start on Monday procrastination. I'm perpetuating a vicious cycle. I'm perpetuating a vicious cycle. I'm perpetuating a vicious cycle. Going through the same dietary motions but expecting different results may vary. Put me on the church's shut-in list. I'm sick. I'm a junk food junkie. Craving a fix. Experiencing withdrawal symptoms from going cold turkey instead of hot bacon.
Session note 002. Patient JFJ reports feelings of sickness. Check for cold or flu-like symptoms. Although he did mention cold turkey, if not properly stored, could have caused listeria. We'll need a list of food most recently eaten to rule out these possible causes. Macaroni salad and peas, all mush, chicken that tastes like wood.
Macaroni salad and peas all mush. Chicken tastes like wood. I'm sick to my stomach. From what I put in my stomach. Decisions. Whole grain organic or cryogenically preserved with preservatives. My vital organs cry out, go vegan! Stop eating things made with things you can't pronounce. Subtract from your diet anything nutritionally amounting to nothing. Anything with additives added until it equals no refrigeration needed.
Session note 003. Patient JFJ. Much help is needed. Needs healing. Needs nutrients from more fruits and veggies. Needs to put down the Olive Garden breadstick and pick up his cross. Needs to be anointed with oil, the kind that's been prayed over, not the kind used to fry chicken. Needs to confess troubles to the Most High, then go and binge no more.
I can't take it anymore. I need a detox, something green to drink while waving the white flag. I surrender the white flower. I give up my all-purpose bliss. Ignorance comes in many colors. Red number 40, yellow number 5. If you mix them together, you get a soda that rhymes with orange. Something to wash down the little blue number 1 pill.
Disclaimer. If your eating binge lasts longer than a 4-hour erection,
Tuck me into my deathbed because I'm dope, sick, and I'm trying to kick, even if it kills me.
I stand and stare at your naked back for the wrong reasons. It is an escape I long to splash face first into. Knots, barriers, chinks in the armor, ribs encircle the organs. I wonder if I imagine it harder, I could plunge in my hand and feel the lust for peace and quiet, the passion for heat upon my limp and dull fingers. If I pressed my chest into your chest, would it thump me a code? A drumbeat to signify I'll love you if I survive and not implode here and now. With your lips on my lips, our foreheads touch, and I suck out the bad drips. One by one, ravens fly out of your ears. They love me. I set them free. I give you my tongue to play with to distract you from my work. Now the jelly flows out of your ears. Now inert, it's lifeless. Her evil hold on you relinquished. You shan't feel badly again today. Your mother always loved you. The hand never touched you. Your brothers made it safely to shore, swam all the way. I watched him stroke. God holds out his palm and you jump on board. My work is done for today. Tomorrow I'll be back again, find you hunched and seething in a doorway, and I will suck out the devil once more.
You need to conform because it's important for you to fit. And we just don't have a way to render it if you bring the you inside of you. Contort and bend. We can't allow you in. Otherwise, You need to shine with a wattage that sinks to our current. Take heed of this deterrent and always mind your P's and Q's. Be a good girl and never color outside the rules. This was the pattern of the wallpaper in the box of my birth. These were the rules that defined my sense of self-worth. My identity was formed from black ink lines, tendrils of judgment that colonize ice crystals on glass, toxic lace, a virus recombinant with insecurity and codependency, all trauma, no grace. That was never me. No matter how hard into that box the world tried to shove me. It took a revolution to spark my evolution. I left with independence and contusions, a victim of life abuse. But I was willing to destroy all that I had become in order to be the higher proof version of me. I had to reboot my destiny, and maybe I was never destined to be the other half of you, but raise the roof because I have finally begun living my truth.
Identity, roots and rivers flows from home. I am a kaleidoscope of ebony and injustices in which tribe, culture, race, and distant lands help shape my destiny. Who am I? I am a strand on the eternal melody of love, still trapped in a dim-lit cloud of shadows. Creating divisions from deceitful hearts, a huge wave of predators lash me against rocks with hostile intensity. In this chimera of life, identity embraces my moral compass and political persuasions, my educational and religious beliefs, memories, values, and life choices, rooted by Nubian kings and queens, now contradicting that of others. Who am I? I'm paired with the duality of light and darkness, cold and warmth, walk with twinkling stars, even while dancing with herbs in the cannabis of nights, living an Eden of painful scars in my emotions. My mind's reactionary, and I tussle with the agony of prejudices perceived, attempt to deal with my burden of labels, engrossed in pain, while remorse and loneliness become daggers that stab my heart. Who am I? I am the light I long to see, and change for sure begins with me. I struggle to rise from oppression, to improve my angle of vision, my environment, my darker impulses, the turbulent forces I cannot control in my quest for happiness. Solitude evades me like the tail of a dog. I'm forced to reminisce on the wisdom of the ancients to find solace. Theirs was a golden path of dauntless courage, of light and humanity, of decorum and beauty, of selfless love. Their sacrifice spoke to me of the glories of man, his ancestral wisdom, enfolding and insulating my heart with beauty. Yet I was called bad names, saw the indignity of kindred spirits, suffering the depravity of self-love, of self-esteem. Shaped by life, I, a wayfaring vessel on tempestuous seas, wandered alone as clouds disperse from the heavenly blue, no place to call my home, stumbling in a hollow maze of chaos and confusion. Who am I? I am a queen molded by the weaver of time, kept playing in mud like babies, needing to be clean again. I was once pristine like new plates, now I'm stained and dirty, tempted by life's culinary flavor of transient indulgences. I am a child woven from an embryo, carrying blueprints for DNA, going all the way back to ancestral Africa. I have faced the intricacies of birth, lived in dread of an invisible ghost, pulling me to the end of my summers. I remember the Nile, its mystical symbol of renewal and hope, of me desperately in need of cleansing to absolve my insecurities, of this sacred river offering spiritual sustenance to a continent. Its transformative continuity brings fertility to the land, augmenting its status as a giver of prosperity. This mother of necessity stretches from Lake Victoria, its primary sources of Burundi and Rwanda flow into Uganda, Sudan, Ethiopia, and Egypt, emptying into the Mediterranean like the soul blending into its source. This floor of consciousness is crucial to life, known for its chemical reactions to cells in humans, its ability to regulate temperature, transport nutrients and waste, essential to drinking, and a natural resource to agriculture for sanitation to millions. Alas, like the deer that runs after its own musk, not realizing that it comes from its innate self, I have forgotten that golden light within, from whence I came, to ascend the winding path of righteousness, in order to find my way home to love.
Alabaster master come creeping from the plaster where every child is a prince, a pauper, a sorry bastard, and a leaky heart and a worn out chest. All these letters kept tied in red ribbons near the vest. Now I'm minutes spent in vain trying to forget how you always made it rain when I was thirsty for a town I'd never met. Your mouth taught me lessons along every new laugh line, arguing with the spine on if this is really the last time. A standard issue, solar plexus, damaged in the wreckage of these empty, splintered seams, more like sutures holding together bad dreams. I'm a big bad wolf in every story where you need me to be mean. Where is the jungle about to bloom in the humid spaces we have cultivated out of breath and moisture, sometimes tears, our own blood, the minerals seeping into the soil where wild things eat? Where are the webs of spiders we're infinitely imagining the walking into? The trapped tendrils stuck to your bare skin like a common bug just before realizing its mummification is underway while still alive. Where on maps do the dots tell stories, constellations of 1,000 trips taken, and even the empty spaces where we didn't go, where we flew through the sky, staring from portholes into cloud-covered castles, pillars of light and dust and water droplets holding us aloft, long enough to become a mathematic equation, a point A and point B. Is marrow holy? Is life a speed round, a slow turning inside out? Is the chance worth the risk when your mouth's full of meteors and no one thinks they're as beautiful as you do? Is there a difference between lavender and salamander belly hues, postpartum and postmortem blues, the missing pieces we couldn't refuse, a spot of refuge when the heart's a recluse, needing some time to love itself loose? Is that an ace up your sleeve? Is it a deuce? Are you playing to win or paying your dues? I've walked all these miles with skin stitched for shoes, moccasin breathing, the cottonmouth noose. I'm sad still in passport pictures punctured by latitudes, an immigrant instinct for traveling in twos. I'm shades of a sales pitch on how not to lose your money, your mind, or your favorite excuse if space is an exit and time is a wound, healing itself as the universe ballooned. Why am I grieving what can never be ruined?
I got my shit blown up back in 2017, and now I have very few fucks to give. I try to do what right in the moment. I'm full of fear, but I'm trying to seize the opportunity life presents to feel good. The truth is, nobody saw it coming the first time. One day I was being fixed, the next I was committed with a broken mind.
This week, 2 days ago, the heartbeats got you. Then they came for me the next day, and the pain was extraordinary. And I have to give fucks. I cannot check out.
They come for us all, the harpies. swarming and tearing, and the pain, yeah, extraordinary. But here we stand.
I am also terrified of being deserving, to think that I might ever feel love again, that I might deserve to live.
I ran from the hospital, afraid for my safety, one psycho doctor away from something far more sinister.
My enterorum was 1991, 1992, and 2000. And how could I still be so ill with all the gifts God has given me?
The second time, everyone saw coming. I'll never forget the look on her face when she told me I needed help, but she wasn't it, and couldn't, wouldn't, didn't help. She was all tell and couldn't show me the way.
And I came out for worse each time. Trauma from group therapy worse. Then the rape in a way, the forcing to relive, to reshare ad nauseum, embarrassing things to display in front of strangers, the flame in my brain.
My whole world unraveled, and I learned the net isn't there. It's a free fall straight down. If you're lucky, you land where the rocks aren't quite so sharp.
And why should I have to tell them? They don't know me. I don't know them. I hate the suggestion from them that I am catastrophizing, and in the notes they wrote that I was staff bashing.
2020, the world is on lockdown. Dolphins return to clear water, and I leave home in an ambulance, spitting poison about being poisoned, strapped down and completely out of my mind.
And I don't forgive any of them. I was a lamb for slaughter, tricked into inpatient by psychiatrists who should have known better than to take a 47-year-old mom away from her children for 8 days, to pump her with galantamine, to give me Ativan and take my blood pressure each hour.
Whatever drugs they gave me didn't work. My mind continued to burn, my reality based in delusion. I sang in the shower, silly songs I made up about being insane when I was a kid.
We reached out for help but received more trauma. And I will never go back in. I will suffer in this brain until the end of time because I never seem to get any better.
How many of you have seen the movie Dune? Doesn't matter, original, remake. In the movie Dune, there was a sisterhood known as the Bene Gesserit. These women wield a power called the voice. By modulating vocal tone, they can control others and elicit obedience. My woman has the voice. I could be sitting with my back to her in an oversized red chair, participating in a big competition, going head to head for the Call of Duty championship, and she'll get me to spin around. On the spot, my woman can make me drop a PlayStation controller. She can get me to do all sorts of things. Go downstairs and get the pickle juice. I obey. Go downstairs again to get a bottle of mustard. I obey. I also wonder, do these items mean that some freaky bedroom activity is about to go down? No pickle juice and mustard related freaky bedroom activity goes down. Those items are natural remedies for muscle cramps. I may need to follow my woman's lead because all these trips up and down the stairs are going to affect my legs too. Another batch of errands come in. Bring me some lime flavored tortilla chips. Turn the front porch light on and make sure the drippy kitchen sink faucet is all the way off. Refill my insulated cup with ice and lemon ginger kombucha. See if I have any Trader Joe's tropical licorice left. I obey, 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 obey. After her muscle cramps subside, my woman tells me to go get some peanut butter. I obey. My woman doesn't even like peanuts, unless it's in the form of M&Ms or Reese's. So this errand can only be for two possible reasons. Either she's going to turn the jelly stain on the chest area of her nightgown into a PB&J stain, Or finally, we are gonna get freaky. I start singing to myself the Houdini song. The freaks come out at night. And when the sun goes down and all the errands are run, I return to the bedroom. Out of breath, I close the door, turn off the lights, put on some Teddy Pendergrass music, and open up the jar of super chunky Skippy peanut butter. I prefer creamy, but maybe those extra bits of peanuts are a sign that things are about to get freaky, extra freaky. I move that jelly stain on her nightgown out the way and go to town. Go! I contemplate disobedience. Go get the EpiPen. I want to finish real quick, licking off the rest of that Skippy. And I'm almost tempted to put a tablespoon of Super Chunky on her other non-jelly stained breasts. But this severe peanut butter allergy, it's kicking my ass.
If you're thinking of calling it quits, I have to admit that there is something and someone worth living for. Life in itself is an experience that you should adore. As long as you show persistence, you should always desire life more. Despite the dismay, I hope that you keep pressing play. There is a lot that is left in store. Suicide would be a very sad way to end your story. Every battle may not be won, but think of the good that you've done that shines in its glory. Imagine every loved one in your story that will end up mourning because of what they lost in you. You'll leave them feeling blue. Those who are left will be bereft of your existence. After you're gone, your memory will go on and on. You mean something to somebody, even though you feel like you're nothing to everybody.
Good morning, Rick. Shut up, Morty. I need a big bag of soap. A really, really big bag. Oh, gee, Rick. How big of a bag are we talking about? A big... Listen, a bag. Bigger than what we get at a normal TJ Maxx, but that's for sure. I don't even know that TJ Maxx sold big bags of soap. TJ Maxx sells a lot of random shit, Morty. Oddly enough, there's a lot of things you could create with your own, over there, you could create your own personal nuclear plant with, if you're creative enough. Rick, please don't tell me you're starting World War III. Shut up. I don't know about that, Morty. There's a pedophile who's trying to distract the world with his pedophilia by kidnapping and killing leaders. I think this dude lit the match to the dynamite, and it's just a matter of time before we see things go boom, Morty. I mean, their things are about to go off like the 4th of July, but nobody will be celebrating freedom, Morty. Do you understand me? Things are spiraling out of control, spiraling downwards like a fucking tornado from the sky, which is why we need a big bag of soap, Morty. If anything, we're preventing World War III. We're gonna save the world, you son of a bitch. Oh my god, Rick, what diabolical nonsense are you dragging me through yet again? And why do we need this big bag of soap? Not just any big bag of soap, Morty. A bag bigger than a literal bag that contains the United States national debt in dollar stacks. We're not talking about industrial. I'm going fucking nuclear, Morty. I'm talking about the idea that basically the idea is that we prevent a nuclear holocaust with this big bag of soap. How many plutonium blunts did you smoke this morning, Rick? Do you even understand what you're saying right now? Stopping a catastrophically large-scale global conflict from happening with a big bag of soap? Make it make sense! First of all, you little piece of shit, we're out of soap. We need to wash our asses before we can wash away the big problems. Once we clean ourselves, then we could tackle planet Earth's global climate problem. We're gonna be the world's greatest janitors, Morty, cleaning up America's problem by breaking down this chemical structure within this big bag of soap. I'm pretty sure if we go to the TJ Maxx around the corner, that's where we're gonna find our specimen for this anti-nuclear peacemaker that we're going to create that is literally going to alter timelines because it will enable us the ability to manipulate time and space as we know it. Do you understand the concept of being a Time Lord, Morty? To be a god, to assist in altering timelines to benefit humanity, kind of like in Assassin's Creed, but everybody else in the scenario is a Templar? All it takes for me and for you to enter God mode is a big bag of soap, Morty. All it takes to literally unborn people from ever existing that can drastically change timelines is to go back in time through the portal this thing is going to create, Morty. Don't worry. Estimated time travel in this mission will be roughly 24 minutes. Rick, are you seriously suggesting that the solution to humanity's world's problems sits on a shelf at a TJ Maxx? Not only am I suggesting this, it is the scientific truth. You're not gonna let our hands be covered in the blood of the animal kingdom. Hurry, we don't have much time to waste. We have to hit up as many TJ Maxx locations before sundown.
The doctor turned me away again. He said my anxiety kept me driven, shaken so deeply that my body sees no choice but to release through tremors and daily emesis. Take this pill, then another. Come back 3 months and we'll discuss your sorrows. So I go home and sit on my bed, turn on some music and roll up my garden. I light and delight until I can't see the light or the dark of any part of my life. I'm just alive. And I walk, I stumble, I bump into walls and giggle. Nothing is amiss even when I fail to miss the bruises building on my frame. My skin isn't that fragile. I would have noticed had I not been engrossed in my lifted state of consciousness, but no, I decided that it just wasn't important. And one day the doctor will say there's nothing else we can do, and she will be distraught because she had known that something was wrong and they all ignored her cries. They gaslit her when she voiced her concerns, and now she's at the end of her line. The doctor calls me in, close to end of day. She's late, White Rabbit. For this, my body will pay. On the table, she instructs me to lay. My legs and feet in stirrups, I'm bare and exposed, laying half clothed while she inspects my womb, materials undisclosed. Only a bit of cramping, she says. That's her presumption. She's done this so many times, I had no reason to believe she was wrong in her assumption. I feel my nerves begging me to flee, to run, to hide, escape from the beast she had inserted inside. I had had flesh taken, scraped, and pulled, but this muscle in my center protested louder than any other part of me would. It hurt to have a piece of her taken, even when I knew the reason was important. I felt the doctor pull against resistance, and the tears fell against my control, much to my disappointment. I hated giving her the pleasure. I didn't want to give her any satisfaction. I tried not to think that this had been intentional. She was just practicing her profession. Because as a woman, why would you test the strength and will of another one? But I can't stop the painful thoughts that maybe it was an attack. The words she spoke when I struggled to cope still echo in my head. I broke you. I'm sorry. Why did that need to be said? I broke you? I'm sorry? I feel as though that was her goal. I've been fighting for so long now. I am broken and too afraid to fight anymore. I just want to go home and sit on my bed, turn on some music, roll up my garden. I light and delight until I can't see the light or the dark of any part of my life. I'm just alive. I'm so freaking brave. I climbed a mountain with someone who hated me. I held hands with a woman in public when the strangers around me tried to shame me. I stood my ground under the pressure of a cop's baton, knees buckling only when he hit a joint that wasn't strong. I saved my friend from having to go through another traumatic experience. I pushed away my war to lift up those who couldn't muster the courage to continue on another day. I opened doors for those who closed it behind them and threw away the key. I protected my mother when men kept taking away her love for free. I bullied kids in my neighborhood because I was the queen of the streets. I couldn't be beaten unless you messed with my family. And then I slipped. I went down on one knee. I crumbled like paper. I became broken and needy. I couldn't walk, couldn't sleep. I couldn't even properly pee. Before I was disabled, I was a better version of me. You've infected me. After our last round in the sheets, I lie here, immobile, and think of those hours we spent here in my bed. My breath quickens, thickens, and grows heavy when I recall the pleasure you fed me, back breaking, legs shaking, screaming from the top of my lungs just because you're so fucking smart and thought to turn the TV all the way up. I'm so sick. I'm lying here immobile, wishing you were still in me, wishing I could live in these memories until the next time you'll come see me and tell me you missed me while you slide in me like the puzzle piece that fits perfectly in my spaces, filling me up completely and spreading me wider than I could imagine. But I imagine the next time. And the next time I want to make you mad just to feel that shit again, because Lord knows it's best when we make up so I can wake up in your arms.